Is Hank Pym the key to Kang's escape in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Welcome back to Nerdist News. I'm Hector Navarro, and today we're coming in strong with a new Kang Watch theory that could shake up everything we think we know about how Kang the Conqueror will achieve his plan to escape the quantum realm in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. While it is a safe assumption that Kang will, at some point, escape the quantum realm, more on that later, what we'll talk about in this video is a different realm, the spoiler realm. So, while this video is speculation and theories based on what we know of the movie and what we know of their comics counterparts, if any of it ends up being true, it definitely counts as a spoiler. So, if you want to approach the beginning of Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with a Pym particle-sized amount of knowledge, that's just very small, then go make yourself a nice cup of tea.
I'm gonna make some tea.
A big question we've all had ahead of the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is just how Kang will escape from the quantum realm into the regular-sized realm. Janet Van Dyne is very scared of the danger that Kang poses after all the time she spent in the quantum realm. But could Scott Lang accidentally or purposely let him out? Trailers seem to point to Kang wanting to make a deal with Scott. Or could Cassie or Hope be Kang's instrument of escape?
No, not those three wombats. No way.
That's right, because this theory by Michael Walsh on Nerdist.com posits that Michael Douglas's Hank Pym could be the one who unleashes Kang the Conqueror on the Marvel Cinematic Universe at large. This theory points to clues from Hank Pym's comic and on-screen history that make him the perfect storm of emotions to consider accepting an offer from Kang that he can't refuse. Hank Pym has always had his share of personal demons, as comics readers already know. And in fact, it's his prickly nature in the comics that is probably one of the reasons behind the decision to have Scott Lang be the version of Ant-Man we follow in the MCU.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Whereas Scott is likable and charming, especially when portrayed by the immortal Paul Rudd, Hank is curmudgeonly and stubborn, and Michael Douglas plays all of that extremely well.
How's retirement?
How's your face?
No shade on Douglas, this is actually a compliment to his acting talent. Some would call Hank Pym his own worst enemy, and that would be true if he also wasn't so good at actually creating his own worst enemies. In the comics, he used his own brain patterns to create what ended up being the sentient killer robot Ultron. Knowing that something that shares some of your brainwaves tried to take over everything, well, that's got to be something that Hank hashes out in therapy.
No!
And while the MCU changes that comics history to have Tony Stark be the main creator of Ultron in Avengers: Age of Ultron, the MCU version of Hank Pym also created his own worst enemy. And this time, it wasn't a killer robot, but a killer in the boardroom. That's right, everyone's favorite CEO turned MODOK, Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket. It was Hank's treatment of his protege that drove Cross to wrest Hank's company from him and start experimenting with size-changing technology that further drove Cross's already unstable persona over the edge into full-on, full-blown, lamb-killing supervillainy. Hank even says himself, "You remind me too much of myself," to explain why Hank pushes Darren Cross away to begin with. So MCU Hank Pym is straight up acknowledging he himself is not a great dude. Plus, MCU Hank Pym was not a great dad either. After he lost his wife in 1989, he doesn't grow closer to his daughter, Hope, but instead pushes her further away, ships her off to boarding school, dives into his work trying to study the quantum realm to see if he can save his wife, but ultimately loses his daughter in the process. Adult Hope later understands he was trying to protect her, but she asks, "Why couldn't you tell me sooner about the truth about Janet being lost in the quantum realm?" And Hope was right. Hank messed up. So yeah, Hank Pym has his share of issues, but how does that translate into Kang's escape? Well, in the Quantumania trailers, Kang seems to think that Scott Lang's Ant-Man is the key to his own escape. We've established before that Kang and Chronopolis have the ability to affect time and timelines. And between Scott's jail time and time trapped in the quantum realm, he's lost a lot of time with his daughter, Cassie. He missed all the times she was recast.
You're so big.
So Kang seems to be offering Scott a timeline or universe where he doesn't have to miss everything and be the father he always wanted to be. And we have to assume that at some point Scott turns this deal down or reneges on it in some way because, as he says in the trailer, "I don't have to win, we both just have to lose." Whew, that was a badass line delivery too, Paul Rudd. Nicely done.
Did you just compliment me?
So we're setting ourselves up to see a Lang v. Kang showdown. But maybe Hank makes the deal on Scott's behalf if Scott won't himself. And if Kang needs Ant-Man tech to escape, who better to provide it than the original Ant-Man? There's the obvious comparison between Scott and Hank here. Hank's also lost a ton of time with the people who meant the most to him. First, he lost his wife, Janet, when she disappeared into the quantum realm. Then he neglects his relationship with his daughter, Hope, in his grief and obsession with finding Janet. There's also the speculation that Bill Murray's character, Krylar, might have been Janet's one-time boyfriend during her decades trapped in the quantum realm to really rub Hank Pym's lost time in his face. So maybe Hank sees all the mistakes he's made in his own life reflected in Scott's relationship with Cassie. And maybe Hank thinks that helping Scott get that time back would give Hank himself a quantum of solace?
Wish I could help.
Wrong franchise. Okay, no problem. The trailers for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania have been light on Hank so far. Could this be misdirection? Are we reading too far into things? We're always reading too far into things, and that's what you love about us.
No!
Maybe Kang sees some of himself in Hank. As Quantumania writer Jeff Loveness just said in an interview with SFX Magazine, as reported by Games Radar, the thing I really wanted to lean into is that Kang is a human being. Going on to say, Kang's also a very lonely character. We're going to be seeing a lot of him in a lot of different ways going forward, but I really wanted to introduce the humanity and even the vulnerability of this character before he gets to such apocalyptic Avengers-scale heights. But how did Kang get stuck in the quantum realm in the first place? Is he just the Kang variant from the quantum realm? Was he a fighter of the first multiversal war who managed to survive being culled by He Who Remains by hiding in the quantum realm? Was he imprisoned there? Did he choose exile to avoid the possibility of being dusted by Thanos, which he knew was going to happen in the year 2018? Whichever of those options, it appears he's stuck there and needs the help of an Ant-Man, whether Scott or Hank. Add to that the fact that with an infinite number of Kang variants who could conquer the MCU, the Kang we meet in the quantum realm might not even escape, and a different variant will be the one to start the Kang dynasty. But our bet is on this Kang escaping, even if a bigger, badder Kang comes down the line. He's just going to Kang stomp him. That Kang's going to Kang stomp the other Kang. We're definitely going to be seeing much more of Kang in the future, and maybe even multiple variants of the character in projects like Loki Season 2. Hey, we're going to be Kang stomped all over the place, trust. We're hoping to learn the truth for sure when Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania hits theaters on February 17th, 2023. And if you want to get deeper into Hank's history and this theory, make sure to check out Michael Walsh's article on Nerdist.com. But until then, what do you folks think? How do you think Kang will escape the quantum realm? Would you take Kang's offer? I mean, if somebody offered you years and years to spend with Michelle Pfeiffer, you'd take that deal, right? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.